we're coming up close on 10 years.
It's 10 years, moving into a new building, a year in business. Got a lot of things that we're celebrating.
Yeah, a year in business, moving into our own space. Sammy's pregnant. I blew out my knee. It was
What else can we
good
add
timing.
to this?
Good timing.
What else? Drop your comments as to what else you think we can handle.
Now you know why I have a gray beard. Let's talk about the business building. I would think first we shouldn't not talk about 10 years in general of just being in the space, you competing, your career, our career together, all that. But we're moving in to our brand new home, our new HQ this week. We have a big party, a bunch of people coming into town. I mean, I'm like gonna start crying in a second as I talk through this, but it's such a huge moment, right?
Yeah, it feels, in some ways it feels like it's been years. In other ways it feels like it just started. But I know for myself, like I had a vision and how practical or how realistic you think that is. And then yesterday we had the athletes' first session training here. Like everyone was here, full training session. And I walked in and I got to walk into one of the world's strongest men deadlifting, one of USA's best weightlifters lifting, and then 3 CrossFit Games athletes all training and doing a Metcon. And I remember just walking in and like walking through the door when it's kind of opening up, and I was like, this is a dream come true. Like this is, if you're in a barbell sport or in a, like, I don't care what sport you're doing, if you're trying to be the best, like I want this to be the spot. And so, seeing that combination of people, I was like, okay, it's happening.
It was like the place that you always wish you had when you were training. You
That-
get
yeah,
to
that's-
create your own little fitness factory.
Yeah, that was it. Was just anything that we want to do, we have the space for it now. Just building it out, and we built we didn't. I didn't. But they put together a full gym in 7 days.
We did. We were. Yeah.
Everyone else. I sat. I was here for moral
He
support.
managed,
helped.
man. You
I was
helped.
here for moral support, and
That was needed many times.
I
You got to be my hug, my calm presence.
I could argue you built it brick by brick. I mean, this is like that goes back to the 10 years. I mean, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into getting to this point. We've ground the last week. Not even me the whole week. I mean, I did the last couple of days, but I think when people see it, they'll think that we're opening an affiliate to the public because it's, super impressive even for something like that for hundreds of members. Like, give us a little background on what the point of this whole thing is and like what we're trying to do here.
I mean, we're just trying to grow. I just never want to be bound. I just want to, even with the space, I don't know if we have a clear defined, like, ideally what it's going to turn into, but we just wanted to have enough space that whatever it wants to grow into, however big we want to make it, however many people want to come here, we have a facility that can fit however many people we want. It's kind of funny when the delivery driver was dropping off crates and boxes and pallets. He asked us, because there's another gym, not even a block away. And he asked, he's like, oh, is the other gym like nervous or upset that you're moving in on their territory? And we're like, oh no, we don't have members. Like, we're not open to the public. And he's kind of like, what in the world? And we're like, yep, we know. We know it sounds ridiculous, but we have a very clear like goal that we're striving for.
It must have been like a different delivery driver too, because there was one that I spoke to. It was maybe a UPS or FedEx or something, not like a freight company, but somebody who delivers to our house all the time. And the guy walks in and it was like halfway built, and he was like, you guys are building another gym?
Yeah.
It's like, because he's delivered to our house.
Yeah, he's delivered to our house and saw
which
that
is like
gym
a
and
very
asked,
impressive
and asked like,
gym.
oh, do you sell memberships? Are you a personal trainer? I was like, no, this is just
No.
my home gym for me and my friends.
Just for me.
And then the same delivery driver seeing this one and still like, what are you guys doing?
I know.
How cool is it? So, we were talking about this a little earlier. We have about 130 people coming in to celebrate with us. yeah, we look at it celebrating them and their contribution. I mean, we'd be nowhere without a lot of people, right? We're a sum of a lot of parts. But, part of what we discussed with that was I was saying, hey, it wasn't a couple miles from here that somebody put a broomstick in your hand and you learned how to live.
Yeah, so I had a little flashback of that today at the pool. And one of the staff members came up and talked to us. They were just kind of asking, like, hey, what are you doing? Because we clearly had a coach, a camera person, myself on the side, and then 3 people in the water swimming, clearly doing some higher skill stuff. And so yeah, it's at that pool that was I think that was my first job. I was the pool boy there.
I don't even think I knew that until you said that today.
Yeah, so I think I was, I was pretty young. I wasn't driving yet, but I had a dirt bike, so I used to rip the dirt bike down Kellogg Road, like full traffic.
Of course you did.
1 mile at
Just
least.
ripping a
Yeah.
2-stroke dirt bike right down the road, and I would park it out back and go to work. But I was the pool boy there, and then through my weightlifting career, I would actually, get up before school, run or drive over to the gym, get a squat session in before the bus came to pick me up, then I would get back home, go to school for the day. So, I trained there a bunch, and then I swam there through my whole CrossFit career. Henshaw and I have spent countless hours in that pool together. Right down the road, 10 minutes down the circ, it's the gym that I started weightlifting at. The first introduction to a barbell sport. Coach Polakowski putting a broomstick in my hand because, companies weren't even making PVC pipes with the marks on them yet. It was just my first bar was a broken broomstick, So it's like, it's my hometown. I have experiences all over the place. My first CrossFit gym is a stone throw from here, probably less than a mile away. Mm-hmm. That was my first introduction to CrossFit with Jay Jenny. I drive through the intersection every day where I had moved back home. I had retired from weightlifting, had no intentions of doing CrossFit or training or anything. And I was sitting at an intersection and Jade pulled up next to me and was like, hey, Matt, are you back in town? Like, hey, we moved locations and we just finished building. I'd love for you to come check it out. And that's why I went to the gym, and that's why I started CrossFit. Like that butterfly effect of like, if Jade didn't pull up next to me at that stoplight and recognize me, like I would have never gone to Champlain Valley CrossFit. So it's just little memories like that all over the place.
Just on your way to work now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 2-mile drive from here to work. I pass that intersection, past Champlain Valley. The other gym where I swim was 10 minutes down the road. Now all of our athletes swim there. So, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be back home and doing something like this.
Yeah, it's well, it is amazing, and I think that the idea of having a facility for the kids that we train on a daily basis, you coach, what has their reaction been to what they've not? Well, I mean, they saw the building.
I mean, yeah, they've seen it
for them.
They've seen it more bit by bit. I mean,
Which I'm actually happy that they saw it empty.
yeah.
Or I don't know if anybody saw it raw before we painted. Because that was, I think, like one of the most
I think maybe
dramatic.
Mal and Jay have.
But like, I actually like the fact that they saw it kind of at its transitions, because then they came in and had like at least some of the reactions that I saw was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, what I love too is like my first home gym was like 170 some odd square feet with 6-foot ceilings.
Oh my gosh, the photo that popped up on the Aura frame the other night, we just stood there.
Oh, it's such a dated, but like
it's so
the
cool.
equipment is just cluttered. It looks like chaos.
We'll have to get the
It's
photo.
like the ceiling's 6 feet tall, and I'm like leaning on a squat rack, But it's like,
what we should do is we should outline the footprint of your gym on the floor somewhere in this gym as a reminder. That would be super.
yep, that's happening.
It's just like a white tape line of
Just,
like,
and people will be like, "What's that?" And be like, "That was where I trained for my first few CrossFit games."
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what a
And but like I remember training in that gym, and like early on, I looked at it as like such a disadvantage. Like I couldn't go overhead. I couldn't do a snatch in the gym. Like I would have to catch the weight overhead, sit in the squat, and then just dump it. Couldn't do anything overhead. Like even the skier, I had to like cut away a ceiling tile so the skier could fit up in between the floor joists.
You had
And
stuff hanging from the rafters.
yep,
What was that?
yeah,
Like the ring rows and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
I had a
that.
set
Yeah.
of like the set of rings hung in the center of the platform. Like to get into our apartment, you had to walk across the lifting platform. Like that's how tight it was. And I realized that like I found the silver lining to it. Of like, all right, I don't have the resource or whatever, but I was like, nobody else is training in a place this gritty. No windows, no vents for air. You know, it was miserable. But like I found the silver lining of like, okay, if I train here, I get to train gritty, and nobody's going to be grittier than me. And I realized I'm like, I made a world champion out of that little shitty gym. Yeah. And then we moved, we got our first house, and then our gym size went to 440 square feet. I was like, I'll never run out of room. Never.
I'll never forget that too. You actually saying that. It wasn't even just a thought. It was like, oh, we're golden. We'll never. And then it was like you put it together and you're like, damn, we need more room.
Well, I remember when we first put it together, we were like, oh man, we're tight on space. And then I get an air runner, and then I get a reverse hyper, and then I got the gun safe, like, and it just like fills up even more. You just make do with what you have. And now it's like, all right, now we bumped up to 6,500 square feet.
Well, don't forget about the 1,000 square feet here at home.
Well, and then our new house, we upgraded to 1,000 square feet.
I mean,
and
if
it was
nothing,
like, now I'm never going to run out of room.
We've progressed. We didn't go from 0 to 6,500. You know, we've tested out all the spaces.
Yeah, I think we went 175, 440, 980, 6,500.
There's something we can do with those numbers or footprints that I think would be super cool.
That would be so cool.
I'm going to drive by my old house and knock on the front door and just explain the story. And
They're
be
a
like,
lovely couple.
Can I just trade? Yeah, can I go measure?
Be like, just explain the story, show them a picture, be like, see, I used to live here. I'm not like,
this
I'm
is
not
me.
a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know, by the way. I'm sure they're very well aware of it.
Well, when they pull up the carpet in the basement and the foundation's just smashed.
Sorry.
So it's, we have obviously a big group event this weekend to celebrate. I think we briefly should at least talk about just the contributions. Like, I think not only our team, first of all, which I think is like super important to talk about, our team, like Matt said, instead of us doing what might have been much easier, is hire somebody to build everything, we made a decision that wasn't going to be the case. Nobody's complained a bit and worked their butt off and built exactly what everybody will see through our media or when they come here. But I mean, good Lord, we what a tribe we have as a team, but as partners as well. They've allowed us to put your dreams together in a building, right? So, Ro, I mean, I don't want to miss anyone, but Ro, Goad, Ice Barrel,
Surface Co,
Yeti, Concept 2. It's when people see this, it's insane what's been put together. I think it's the most impressive gym that I've ever been to and been a part of or been at, and it's because of all their contributions to this.
Yeah,
right?
I've already started, putting thoughts together of like the thank yous I need to give, and there's some that it's, hey, like, thank you so much. I can't wait to repay this favor. And then there's others that it's like, I can never repay this favor. So the way I'm going to do it is just pass it along. When I'm in a position to do something as grand that you just did for us, I'm there. But, some of these partners stepped up and they made a dream happen.
Well, it's also, you look at it like, I don't know about you guys, I am so proud of not only what it is and what it represents and our team coming together, but it's also one of those things, like, I hope our partners are proud. I'm looking at the space of like, oh, I want to make sure like the machines are all lined up beautifully, so like when Concept 2 walks in, they're so proud of like how their equipment is represented. Or when Rogue comes in, like we just had people up on ladders like buffing out all the little fingerprints from building everything, so that when they walk in, they're proud of how it's viewed and how it, is represented to the world and to our athletes and all that stuff. And I hope our athletes are proud of a space that they get to be in and all. I mean, we talk about that all the time. Show up, work hard, make yourself proud. It's like, if we can't repay the favor, we just hope that they're proud of being a part of it.
the detail has been like, working with each of them on how to bring themselves to life in the space. It's awesome. Honestly, we're surrounded by a ton of great people and great brands, and they're our partners for life. Honestly, they've been there. We talk about now 10 years. It's pretty cool. Matt, you've talked about it so many times of like, being able to look back at your career and so much consistency, and they're a part of that, right? Like these people have been with you since you competed through all those different stages we just described. And now they're here again, once again, for our big next step.
Yeah, and I mean, and some of these partners, they're the ones that opened my eyes and kind of taught me a lesson of like, you're not just looking at the deal, but who you're doing the deal with. And every person that we're with, we've been with for all years now, and we hope to continue that relationship, and it's for a reason, not just because they're the best in the market at what they do or they have the best product, but because they're the best people that we can work with. And I think this entire facility reflects that because it is above and beyond.
It really is. It really is. I'll be the interviewer here, so we've got this huge next step, and we've got a ton of things going on. The season's playing out before our eyes, and then in August we have baby Fraser coming.
I thought you were going towards the game.
Yeah. So that's they were kind of at the same time.
Yeah, they are.
But I mean,
We are so good at timing.
We are.
Let's just make sure everybody understands that baby Fraser is due during the week of the CrossFit Games or the day after.
Well, a couple days
After, and let's hope that first kid comes late.
Yeah, you know what they all say, like you go 40 weeks to term, but your first one is 42. So whatever.
Yeah,
we're just gonna cross our
We're
legs
gonna,
and hope for the
we're
best.
gonna go with it.
But if you see me on Saturday at the CrossFit Games and then don't see me on Sunday, you know what happened.
Right.
We have a contingency plan in place. Let's just say that.
It's part of our birth plan.
Can you guys tell me, and we've talked about this, and I'm a parent. I have a 17 and a 14-year-old. I know where you're going and what you're getting into and how, you're looking like this is, a moment we talked about this week where you're like, this is what I think is the biggest moment for us as a business and maybe even for me, whatever I've done. How are you feeling about that? Like, how excited are you? Because I've seen how excited you are, but tell people how excited you are.
I mean, kind of going back to the story that I was talking about earlier was, I realized that this is one of those situations where, you hope that if you build it, they will come. I want to create a training facility that I think most obviously for anyone pursuing a career in CrossFit, I want this to be the place that happens. But then also other barbell sports, like we've had Maddie Rogers here the last couple of days, and it's just been so much fun. What?
I think he was going in the direction of being a parent and the baby.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can tie that in. It all works together. But
Yeah.
that I viewed this place as like, if you build it, they will come, or that's the hope.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was day one, session one, and I walked in and I was like, oh, it's already happening. That was wild to me. But then, we've kind of adapted to this lifestyle of all of our athletes train out of our house, which is in our basement. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if people are training, we hear the music upstairs, we feel the barbells being dropped. Our personal bathroom is the only bathroom in the building. So like people have to walk through. So we've just had zero privacy for the last year. So having the separation between work and home, because right now Sam and I are both victims to it of like we can work from our phone or laptop. And so if we're sitting on the couch and it's 9 p.m., you can be working. It's not good for the quality of life. So, having that separation, then, having a baby girl to come home to, I'm sure I'll be trying to.
There's the gender reveal right there.
Oh, no, we did it on Instagram.
Yeah, we posted.
Okay.
But for anybody that missed it, we're having a baby girl.
Yeah, baby girl, August 12th.
Yeah, August 12th. Or
It's a girl.
13th or 14th or 15th or whatever, sometime in August. Yeah.
Sammy, hold that.
I know. Yeah. I have a lot of FOMO about missing the games this year. I think it's going to be the best yet.
It's your 10th time at the CrossFit Games, whether as a coach, 1 year as a spectator, 1 year as a coach,
Yeah.
and seven times as
7
an
years
athlete.
competing.
Wild.
Are you excited?
Man, I mean, this year is going to be a big change because like we're literally like we don't have to modify training based on facility. We don't have to modify anything. We have the facility, and it's like anything and everything that comes up, it's like we have the resources. We have the best partners. Like, you want to get better at biathlon? Yeah, we're partnered with Concept 2. Like, let's go tap that resource, get the best knowledge. Just stuff like that. I'm so excited for.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We'll miss you.
I know. It's
promise.
okay.
We'll FaceTime.
Erin promised that she'd make a cardboard cutout and take me everywhere so that I wouldn't miss
With the
it.
bump?
With the bump.
Okay,
Obviously.
with the
It's got to
bump.
be present day, So we'll see if that comes together.
Yeah. So what's next for, I mean, we've got semifinals coming in less than a month. We have the CrossFit Games, baby Fraser. Anything else that you want to add in there? Just to make
Hopefully,
sure
I'll
that
be
we're
off
super-
crutches soon.
We saw you take your first steps. I'm going to share a moment from this week. It's been an exhausting week for all of us. It's been, like a lot of work. It's been a lot of, a little bit of exhaustion.
Exhaustion, depression.
Yeah, I'm
Just
right
another
now
day
riding
in the fitness business.
yeah, I'm riding the wave of the pregnancy hormones, the whole thing. So Matt comes into the gym. I don't even know. It's like 2 days ago. We're like 5 days in on this build, and he looks at me from across the room and he drops his crutch. And he takes a couple steps, and I immediately just started crying. I was just like, I think it was just the wave of like, independence for him, and like just so happy, like recovery from this has just been hard and long and all of these things. And then like independence for me being like, oh my gosh, you can do things now.
Yeah.
And then just like I said, just riding the wave. It was
It
such a
was
moment for me. Watching my honey take his first steps in the new gym. Someday that'll be our baby girl.
yeah.
That was a good one. What about you, O'Keefe? What are you like feeling about all of this? You're asking all these questions, which are great.
Yeah, no, we were just walking out after we had our meeting earlier. We're getting ready for the weekend, and it was like a little emotional. And I said something to Matt about like the last time I had something that was my own, was when I was in the car business with my father. And not that like I've been with Loud and Live, and I certainly was involved in that, but something that like, because this is a family business, we're a family, and we've done I've spent more time with you guys because I've wanted to, and me for the last 10 years than I have anybody, and to be able to be doing this with you guys, confidently and proudly, and it have now come to life. I honestly don't even know how to really describe it. Just like makes me want to tear up and choke up a bit. It's like it's ours. Sitting in my office today for the first time, it's like it just feels right. We're home, and like to build a home is really hard. I don't think people maybe understand that. This already feels like my home, our home, and I'm really just so proud of it.
Yeah, like I had a couple moments today. Like today was the first day showing up for a day of regular work, not setting up offices and equipment and stuff like that. So, pulling up, parking in the parking lot and walking in, like I had my bag with all my paperwork, all the stuff. And I'm like, it's my first day showing up to an office. And then going in, like, this is my first office. And then like the meeting today, there's just 4 or 5 of us kind of having just like a brainstorming session. When I left, I was like,
Your first meeting in your first office.
That was our first meeting, and it's
cool.
It's pretty wild for me because like I worked one desk job one time before in the summer of the 14 games.
I remember that.
And then after that, I was like, no way am I ever doing that again. Like I'm going to go pursue this CrossFit thing. And now it's just come full circle, and it's just wild to me.
That today is what when you look at now, fast forward to like what's exciting is what we're able to accomplish now, having this resource for now people that trust us to train with us and be a part of
For
our
our
team.
people that help us run this, like,
It's like we're gonna just be able to move at even a faster pace and like do more and be better for everybody. What we accomplish in a few hours today sometimes can take us weeks, just
Yeah.
with getting connected. I was literally having the thought today. A friend stopped by to see the building. They're like, "Are you gonna move here?" And I was like, today's been one of those days where I've been like, I think I need to live in Vermont. How am I gonna tell my wife this? And I'm like, well, wait, Abby's going to college, and Jack, but Sammy and Matt will probably move in their house at some point. I'll have a place. I'll be here a lot. Yeah. I just like. We have the hardest working team in any business from my perspective that I've ever been around, and to think that there's now like this incredible tool of efficiency now involved in that.
Yeah.
Watch out! Like I think it's going to be pretty cool
yeah.
for what we
Well,
can
I'm
put out.
excited for all of our people to have the same moment that Matt has had. Like, I haven't sat at my desk yet. I haven't brought my, none of us have like moved into our offices yet, but I haven't even opened my laptop in my office yet. Jake and Josh, they've been running around hanging stuff and doing kind of the finishing work. And I'm excited for all of our people to have those same moments too, because I think it's just going to be just like the athletes getting their first training session. And it's like, tomorrow we have, this like all team meeting, a bunch of breakout sessions, like a whole group thing together that it's like, I'm excited for that, for those people to have that experience of, we used to do this around, Matt and Sammy's kitchen island. And now we have like a place that we can kind of call our own.
Well, so I'm super excited, and I had this realization a little while ago. And it's so easy to just see things from your point of view, your perspective. And so the most obvious thing was our house. Everyone's training downstairs, and then if some of our employees were training, it was like they would finish and then come up and sit at the kitchen table to work, and there was just no separation between home and work. So that's a perspective I'm seeing. But then looking at it from their point of view of like, that's not enjoyable for our athletes of like, oh, I need to use the bathroom. So I got to, walk way outside, go back inside into Matt and Sammy's living room, like all this type of stuff. So I'm excited for, our athletes, our employees, anyone that's involved with us to make this their home of we built the space for you guys. Like, you tell us what you want, what you need, and I'm just excited for them to really like find comfort here and make it their own.
It's watching that play out already, which has been so fun. I mean, we have a few that have literally slept here the last week, so they're definitely very comfortable. But I was watching Harry today, like kind of like looking around. I'm like, go pick an office. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, go pick an office. It's like, and he's like locked in. Yeah, I will. I just to go back at that. Like, I think it's we have such a cool team of people that really are best in class, and they work their tail off all day, every day at what they do to get better and deliver. It's just going to be fun to be able to collaborate. What's done on Zoom, or Teams with what we use. I feel like it's just, I was even describing today to somebody like, I'm a little nervous about tomorrow. Like I've worked very infrequently the last 3 years in person with teams, and it's like, I've gotten very comfortable with, delivering
Presenting
and speaking
behind
and
a camera.
behind a camera. Cause you could always like, by the way, you can always hide if you want. You just push the button and say, oh, my internet's not working. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously.
Driving through a tunnel.
I think it's going to be great. Like, we have a lot of people that, do a lot of work behind the curtain, and it's really behind the curtain. It's in their living room. There's not a lot of human interaction because it's on the tech side. Just pumped to get everybody together and do it more often, more frequently. Because, I mean, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to, and Matt said it best. I'll always go back to this from our beginning when somebody asked him early on, like, what are you trying to accomplish with HWPO? And he said, I want to help people. And we can help more people now because of this, not only our team, but, more people around the world, because we can move faster. We can put more things out that meet more people where they're at. It's going to be a really fun you know, next couple days, next couple years, whatever it is, we got a lot we can do with this.
So much.
I promise we can sleep a little.
I'll make sure of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I love you guys.
Love you too.
you.
I'm so proud of us, you two, and that I get to do with you this with you. Honestly, it's I'm so excited for my family to come up and see it. My dad and your dad to drive us crazy this weekend.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
dad to
that's-
middle and buffer y'all.
That is a concern. Our dads are going to meet.
Our dads have not met from what we can think of through this whole, like, we've been together like 10 years here. Our fathers have not met yet, we don't think, and they were like big characters, and we're
Dominating personalities.
yeah.
I'll
And
say.
so, and Donnie, you will watch this. My father won't because he doesn't know how to use YouTube. So we're just like, I love you to death, but if you two create any havoc this weekend, I'll strangle both of you. So we've got a big weekend.
We'll send them to the pickleball courts.
Exactly.
Very true. Yes.
Exactly. Right around the
Oh,
corner.
pickleball. Let's go do that right now.
know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Well, this is super exciting. Thank you guys for putting in all your hard work, and thanks for letting me, ride along.
We'll talk about the last 10 years some other time. because
Yeah, we
there's-
need a-
that could take
That's a
long
couple
time.
part episode
We
kind of
should do
conversation.
one episode for every year, and track like what competitions there were, what obstacles we did.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Dig up some old photos.
We're gonna
get
have to have a
get
box
flash
of
screen.
tissues out for that. In a positive way. It's been such a ride.
That's what the coffee table's for.
It's been such a cool ride. It's a cool ride. We're not done. We got a lot to do, but it is cool to think back and celebrate you two, in our time through all this stuff together. So let's do it.
we're doing it.
Okay. That's a wrap.